So, guys, Push Dustin just tweeted this on Twitter about apparently on the UK Nintendo website, the official one, because I checked it on my phone and I was already logged in to my Club Nintendo account because I've recently been playing the Pokemon Masters game and I connected my accounts for Club Nintendo. So I was already logged in. And yeah, I'm already logged in, and on the actual Nintendo website, and it says DLC Challenger Pack 4 for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. It's right here. They've already made it to where you can purchase it. Okay, I guess this is brand new, just in because I feel like people who like Push Dustin of all people would be checking this constantly, and yeah, it's the description for Character Challenger Pack 4 right here. You can go. I'm gonna put the link in the description because it's you can just go to it. It says planned for distribution by 29 to 2020, which means February 29th. Um, Probably not going to come out then. That seems it's because they said they're going to get all of this done by February 2020. That's the last day of February 2020, so that's why it says that. Downloadable content set contains for the following: one new fighter, one new stage, several new music tracks. We all know that. We know that's what's going to come with it. So this didn't really say anything new. It's just saying, okay, look, Character Challenger Pack 4, they're already setting it up to where you can buy it. But here's why it's interesting. When you scroll down, it's got all this stuff about, whatever, all this legal information, legal jargon. You get all the way down to the very, very bottom, and it says SNK Corporation, all rights reserved. That's what it says at the very bottom of this character. It says SNK Corporation, all rights reserved. Now, if it said Namco, all rights reserved, I wouldn't assume it's a Namco character because Namco helps work on this game. But it says SNK. SNK does not have a single bit of representation at all whatsoever in Super Smash Bros. At all. Not a single character, not a single spirit, not a single assist trophy, not a stage, nothing. Nothing from SNK is in Smash at all whatsoever at this point. And yet this says SNK Corporation, all rights reserved, only on the Challenger Pack 4. It doesn't say that on any other Challenger Pack. Guys, I'm going way too hard to try to convince you guys. It's clear as day. It's blatantly obvious. This means that Challenger Pack 4 is an SNK character. The hilarious thing about this, the freaking hilarious thing about this, is that someone just recently said Ryu Hayabusa is the fourth character. Now, Ryu Hayabusa is Team Ninja. I know some people don't know everything about SNK and Team Ninja and blah blah blah. Koei Tecmo makes games like Ninja Gaiden featuring Ryu Hayabusa, and they make Dead or Alive, and they also make the Warriors games like Hyrule Warriors and Fire Emblem Warriors. They make all the Dynasty Warriors games. So Koei Tecmo has representation in Smash with the Fatal Frame series. So Fatal Frame is in Smash. So Koei Tecmo actually has representation in Smash already. SNK has nothing. SNK has nothing. SNK has nothing to do with Ryu Hayabusa, okay? Ryu Hayabusa is not an SNK character. They have literally nothing to do with each other. So, what does that mean? Well, that means that guy who said his source said Ryu Hayabusa and he was correct. The guy said he was correct on like 90% of the things he said. This is one of the things he got wrong. Here's the thing about the DLC predictions so far, guys. A lot of them have actually been quite predictable. Now, most people weren't trying to predict the characters before Joker. And when they weren't being that serious, and almost everyone was saying answers that were so obviously not true because for some reason the fandom and the community is really behind characters like Waddle Dee being in the game and Shantae being in the game. When I just see literally no evidence for that, and it's just like I feel like those names are only brought around because the community keeps those names around, and I don't think Nintendo cares about the community. I don't think they're on Reddit looking at who to put in. In fact, Sakurai even said he doesn't really look at any of that stuff. I think the fan ballot was the first time he realized people really wanted Ridley and K. Rool. I think he thought that the fans were being disingenuous before, and he realized people actually do really want Ridley and K. Rool. So yeah, I I I just when it comes to the character predictions, characters like Joker, I kind of predicted, and not many other people did. But the thing about Joker is that, Joker in Persona 5 was a red hot fire game, and Atlas was really good friends with Nintendo. And then when it came to Dragon Quest, a lot of people already thought that was pretty predictable, and then the whole Brave thing in the data mine code pretty much confirmed it, and most people already were pretty sure it was going to be Dragon Quest. I kind of questioned it after a while, but then went back to it later, realizing the simplest answer is probably right. And then when it came to Banjo, to me, I thought that was just the most obvious choice if they're going to do a Microsoft character. I thought a Microsoft character was extremely obvious because Microsoft and Nintendo are such good friends. So when people say they know DLC stuff and they know they know they have the leaks and they're right about the leaks, it doesn't matter because those ones were all predictable to some degree. This one, now this one actually is kind of predictable when you really think about all the SNK games that were on the Switch. SNK started re-putting in all of their games on the Switch. But another funny thing to look at when it comes to SNK and is that SNK has characters in pretty much every fighting game now. Don't believe me? Let's count them. And I want you to realize that a lot of these are Namco games. So, first of all, Mai ends up being a crossover character in Dead or Alive 5. Hey, that's pretty cool because Dead or Alive 5 Dead or Alive in general is known for ninja girls, and it's also known for bouncing boobs. So you put Mai in, the token bouncing boob ninja girl that was, maybe the first and most famous one from fighting game fame, Fatal Fury, who's also, a part of King of Fighters because Fatal Fury characters are in King of Fighters. So, we get Mai. Then, later on, Geese is put into Tekken 7, a game made by Namco. So Geese is in Tekken 7, and Mai is in Dead or Alive 5. Later, Terry is a part of Fighters EX Layer. Wow, okay. So it seems like every game that's not a Capcom fighting game, it seems to be getting an SNK character. Let's keep going, because Mai is also being added into Dead or Alive 6. And not only is Mai coming to Dead or Alive 6, but so is Kula. So that means the previous Dead or Alive crossover character is coming into the new Dead or Alive, but also so is another SNK character for Dead or Alive 6, Kula, which is really cool. I happen to really like Kula a lot. I would have preferred Yuri. She's probably my favorite female character from Dead or Alive, but Yuri's basically just like a Shoto wannabe character, which is why I like her. So I don't, I kind of realize she's probably not going to be in it. And I think what SNK realized is that they make a lot of money doing crossovers with DLC, because those games are pretty successful, and then it also makes people more curious in SNK games. Recently at EVO, it was announced that a Samurai Showdown crossover is happening with Soul Calibur, which, if two fighting games are going to cross over, that would be the perfect pair. So we get this awesome crossover. It looks like I forgot the guy's name. I don't remember if it's Samanosuke or no. Samanosuke's is in Soul Calibur. He's the samurai in Soul Calibur. But the character, it's like the main character off the box of Samurai Showdown. He's the one who's going to be put into Soul Calibur as DLC. So, I mean, that's two Namco games getting SNK character crossovers. And then, really, SNK is just putting King of Fighters characters in every single fighting game. Even EX Layer got a character. As long as you're not a Capcom game, because I think that's their fierce rival right now, you get a character in your game. And SNK having a good relationship with Nintendo right now, and SNK having a good relationship with Namco right now, clearly, if they have two characters in two different Namco fighting games. SNK is over here saying, "Oh my gosh, can we get into Smash? Can we get into Smash?" Now, Terry and Ryu, they've crossed paths before. Um, in fact, Capcom versus SNK, hell, there's two of those games, and they're awesome. It really is like Marvel versus DC, but over time, SNK and Capcom in the fighting game community have both kind of lost some of their spirit. Now, Capcom was definitely responsible for reviving fighting games, making them popular again. But Street Fighter V and Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, they haven't really been doing that well. These are games that didn't really get well received, and while I still watch Street Fighter V at Evo, it seems like a lot of other people prefer watching games like Tekken and Dragon Ball Fighters, for example, and Smash. Even Samurai Showdown was featured at Evo. And I think SNK is really trying to make a name for themselves, and I think they're trying to really get people hyped up for a new King of Fighters game or something of the like. Of course, Samurai Showdown just came out, and people really like Samurai Showdown. So, we will see. Hey, maybe a Namco character will appear, like a Soul Calibur character might appear in Samurai Showdown because the Samurai Showdown character appeared in Soul Calibur. We don't know yet. We'll have to see. So what I'm saying is, it's very clearly obvious that SNK has something to do with the Challenger Pack 4. The only question is, who will it be? Who will it be? Because King of Fighters isn't the most iconic. If you're a fighting game fan, you know all about King of Fighters. If you're a fighting game fan, you know all about that stuff. But which character will it be? Will it be Kyo, one of the main characters from King of Fighters, who wasn't really from Fatal Fury or Art of Fighting? Will it be Yuri, who's the poster child, most beloved girl from Art of Fighting? Will it be Terry Bogard, the main character of Fatal Fury, who became a super important character in the lore of Fatal Fury and King of Fighters? Who will it be? My money right now is on Terry Bogard because he is the main character of Fatal Fury, and he's an extremely popular character for King of Fighters. But remember, Kyo is kind of like the main character of King of Fighters. It's kind of hard to say, but King of Fighters just has so many other characters. I highly doubt they'll put in Ryo, because Ryo is basically just a Shoto fighter anyway, but there's a lot of different possible characters, and I feel like Terry is the most well-known, recognizable, and most beloved of all the King of Fighters characters and all the SNK characters. And if you're thinking, well, maybe it's not going to be from a fighting game because Ryu's already in the game, Terry and Mai would both honestly work really well. I don't think they'll do Mai because she's a little too suggestive. I mean, she fights in a thong, and while you will say, okay, well, other Smash characters have dresses and skirts, and you can't see up their skirts. Yeah, this is a little bit different because she really doesn't hide herself at all. And that's kind of the point. She also has a lot of massive cleavage showing. It will literally raise the game's age rating if you show underwear, which is why a lot of games now actually censor out the panty shots that used to be in the games. Smash used to have panty shots of Princess Peach. The thing is that when it came to Smash 4, the Japanese laws and rules, I should say, they're not laws, but the rules for their rating system have changed. And Sakurai said it was ridiculous, but he had to actually provide what the characters' 3D models looked like upside of their dresses. So that's why every character has shorts on, or they have a black void that covers up what's under there. So yeah, you can't actually see where their legs go to, which is kind of ridiculous. But it's also to I would think it'd be ridiculous if there's a lot of panty shots in Smash Brothers. It's a family game with a wide variety of players, so I understand that it's not really the quite right place for something like that. But the problem is well, with Bayonetta they somehow made it work. They made it to where when her clothes disappear, it's not very much. They basically make it to where she still has like a normal shirt and shorts on, because it doesn't go that far up her legs, but in Bayonetta it kind of shows like a thong style anyway too. It kind of shows her butt, so you can't really do that stuff with Smash. You can't really put Mai in the game. So sadly, you really can't do Mai in Smash. And that sucks because Maya is probably the most popular and someone who probably would fit the most. However, I do think, again, Terry would fit really well, more so than other King of Fighters characters. And he's kind of like the main hero, and he's kind of like the poster child of Namco. And it would be really cool to have Terry fighting against Ryu or Ken. That would be really cool. But I would also want him to not exactly play with the same exact gimmick as Ryu and Ken. But it's weird because Ryu and Ken's gimmick in the whole game is that they're fighting game characters, and because of that, they face their opponent no matter what side they're on, and they can do their actual command inputs from the games they're in. And if you put another fighting game character in, especially a 2D fighting game character, because remember, if you did a 3D fighting game character, you wouldn't have the same gimmick of doing the inputs, you know? Like, if they put in Heihachi from Tekken, they wouldn't do that stuff. Or if they put in Akira from Virtual Fighter, they wouldn't do that stuff, right? So this is kind of peculiar why they're going with another 2D fighter, because if Ryu and Ken do it, then to be accurate to King of Fighters, you would think Terry would have to do it too. Now, of course, Terry's moves are nothing like Ryu and Ken's. You know, Ryu and Ken have the Shoto style, which is the most basic, well-known fighting game style in any fighting game ever. But Terry fights a little bit differently. He shoots a shockwave across the ground, which is really cool. He does like a flipping kick move, and he also does this dashing forward punch move. What his up B will be, his recovery move, yeah, I have no idea what they would come up with for that. What would, his normal B or his down B might be his shockwave move. His down B could be his flipping kick move, but his forward B is most likely going to be that charging punch forward move. Now you might think, okay, it's going to be it's just going to be Ryu and Ken all over again. And honestly, I really don't think it will be. He might still have the command inputs like Ryu and Ken. He might face his character like Ryu and Ken. But I'm honestly thinking more like, look at Captain Falcon. Like, I'm thinking Terry's going to be a really up-close, fast-paced character who will be jumping around and doing like kicks like crazy and stuff like that. Like, Terry is not really a Shoto fighter at all. He doesn't have, his spin. He doesn't have like a little spin kick move. He's going to have some range to him and his movements. So, I'm honestly thinking he's going to be a pretty fucking. He could possibly be a really awesome character for one-on-one situations, much like, characters like Captain Falcon, for example. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking someone who's fast and who moves across the screen really well and just happens to have that power wave, his little shockwave punching the ground move. So will it be Terry? That's my most likely bet. But holy shit, I can't believe Nintendo just revealed this. And I think that we're going to be getting a direct in November, or not November, but September. So I think during that direct, we're going to see a trailer for Terry, because this means it's got to be soon. It's got to be coming up soon, guys, because holy crap. Like, they literally made this page that says SNK, all rights reserved. So I just saw Push Dustin talk about it. I went to the website itself and saw it. It's happening. I think Nintendo accidentally leaked, but they didn't leak the character, but they did give us a huge giant hint on what to narrow it down for. So I was still thinking Capcom was going to be getting a character. Now, the more I think about it, oh my gosh, Capcom might not be getting a character, because doing a character for Resident Evil might be a little too hard, and if they did another character, it would have to be Resident Evil, and Capcom already has representation from Monster Hunter in Smash, so it's like, how many more franchises does Capcom need represented in Smash? Nintendo might be looking at someone else. And also, that might be why we got Ken as a Echo Fighter, because Capcom didn't get a DLC character, so Capcom wanted an Echo Fighter in the game. And yeah, Ken might be what they went with to get more Capcom content in the game. Capcom looks like they got a lot of content in the game, and I'm thinking Capcom might not be getting a DLC fighter. So I'm not saying the last character will be Capcom, because I've been saying for so long the next character, or at least one of the next characters, will be a Resident Evil character. And now I'm saying, I don't know. I still don't know who the fifth and final character will be, but Terry Bogard, he's coming to Smash. So we might have seen the coolest and best characters, for some people, because I don't think they're going to be as excited for Terry. And that makes sense to do their least hype character as their fourth one that way, because the first one has to be hype, uh, and the one at E3 has to be hype, and the final one you want to be hype as well. And so if Hero is the second one, and the final E3 reveal was Banjo, then that means the first one was hype, the E3 one was hype, and hopefully the last one will also be hype. But Terry is not going to be one of the hype choices, so this is kind of like your filler character. And I hope people aren't too upset by the idea of Terry Bogard or a King of Fighters character in Smash. I hope they can see the appeal and love for it. And maybe when we see gameplay footage of him, they'll start to understand. I think a lot of people really like Hero now that he's out. I think a lot of people are very satisfied with Hero, or they just hate him because they think the whole mechanic of Hocus Pocus and all that RNG stuff is broken. But at least they're enjoying the game still, and they're I think they're happy with what they're getting. Sometimes people just need to see the character, because a lot of people don't know all these classic video game characters. I know who Terry is, but as I'm excited, sending messages to my friends saying, "Oh, look, the next character is going to be King of Fighters. It's probably going to be Terry. It's because it has to be SNK." I've noticed that almost none of my friends know him. I really thought about the fact that, I have to be like, "Hey, don't you remember the guy with the hat that was in Capcom vs. SNK 2?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, I played that when I was a kid." It's like they don't know who Terry is. So yeah, I have to really, tell people. I have to really push. I have to people don't know who Terry is, and I don't think that's a bad thing. If you guys don't know who Terry is, that's kind of normal. He's, King of Fighters isn't that big in America, and it's, only really big if you're into the fighting game scene. You gotta be a classic fighting game fan to know it. So, does it really fit in Smash? Well, it fits as filler DLC. Some people will be excited, and not everyone will be. I think that's fine, because there's 5 characters. Like, holy shit, how many characters can they use that are all going to be hype, right? But if some of these characters are clearly not that exciting at all, it does add some to the possibility that there might be more characters after the first DLC Challenger Pack. A lot of people are saying there might be a Challenger Pack 2. Lots of fighting games do it. Smash is not a typical fighting game. Smash is a Nintendo game, and because of the Nintendo game, there's a lot of other Nintendo games that Nintendo wants to sell people on, and Smash might not stay alive that long, but this is probably their most successful game. It's, one of the hugest games Nintendo does. It's one of the hugest games as far as fighting games go. So Nintendo would be really smart to keep pumping DLC into Ultimate, especially if they want Ultimate to last a long time and not worry about doing a sequel anytime soon. And thankfully for the gameplay, I think a lot of people are very satisfied with the gameplay of Ultimate, and it can stick around for a long time. So they might do a Challenger Pack 2 with a break in between. I don't know. And if we get not so hype characters, that might add more credibility to that. But as of right now, I'm not too worried about it. As far as the last character and who they'll be, at this point, I think the Mii costume theory is completely out the window, as it really only applies to Sega at this point, because Square Enix didn't use any of their old Miis, and these Banjo and Terry have nothing to do with anything. So I think it's time to kill Mii costume theory once and for all. It's done. It's over. The only theory that I think makes sense is the amiibo theory, because that just shows us right around when the characters will be released. So I think they're going to, because it's getting close to Banjo's going to be coming out this month at the end of September. This is September 1st, the very end of September. Banjo will be coming out. And so because of that, I think they're getting ready to announce the next character, and then maybe at the Game Awards, like they announced Joker, they're going to announce the next one, the final one. So, which means hopefully it'll be another hype character. So that's what I think they're doing, and we'll see with this direct if we end up seeing Terry or any character at all. I don't know what to think yet, guys, because I just don't know. So Hopefully it'll be really, really cool, and we'll get to see a trailer of like Ryu like meditating or something, and then Terry like walks up to him and they start fighting. That could be really, really cool. Or maybe we'll see Diddy Kong in the city, because like in New Donk City we'll see Diddy Kong there because Diddy Kong wears the hat just like Terry, and they're both like these cool hip guys who wear red and with hats. That could be really fun. That could be really fun. So who knows what we'll see with Terry, but with him getting in the ring and fighting Little Mac and then Incineroar, that really fit Kin's style and Kin's aesthetic as a fighting game guy. With Terry, that would honestly work with him too. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't think they'll do that again. But when you look at the Banjo trailer, now that I think about it, when you look at the Banjo trailer, it's basically just the King K. Rool trailer. So maybe they'll do the Kin trailer all over again, and they'll have maybe it'll just start with Incineroar in the ring beating up Kin again, and then when it shows that line of fighters in the ring, maybe Incineroar will start fighting the other fighters in the ring before Terry pops up and it says, "Here comes a new challenger," and like Terry pops up and has to fight Incineroar, and then Terry beats him, and something cool like that. That could be a lot of fun. That could be a lot of fun. So we'll see what we get. This video doesn't need to be any longer than it needs to be because it's not. This is not a what if Terry's in Smash video. I can't begin to start explaining all the ideas I would have for Terry because I never really thought he was possible. I honestly thought he was. I saw him on all these tier lists and I always said, nope, he has no chance. But so we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, so I will end this here, and I'll try to get back to you guys on a what if Terry or if Terry is Smash DLC video, because this is exciting, but it might not even be Terry. All we know is it's SNK, so we'll have to see what we get. It could be something completely different. Like a lot of people for a while predicted it was the girl from Samurai Showdown with the bird. That's just way too obscure in my opinion. I don't think she's gonna get in. I think they're gonna do a King of Fighters character, but we'll see. I'm gonna end the video here, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.